And we have our last guest speaker is a special guest of honor. I am very privileged and humbled to announce our next speaker, who is the tourism, who is going to speak about the topic of tourism as a pillar of national development and global collaboration. Our special speaker will be Ambassador Christopher Hayes Onanuga, Chair, Liberia National Tourism Authority Board. Ambassador Onanuga is a distinguished entrepreneur, diplomat, media executive, and tourism advocate driving Liberia's tourism-led national development agenda. Please give a very warm welcome to Ambassador Onanuga. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agnes Bihari.
Yes.
I hope I didn't miss the name.
That's correct.
I'm going to go straight, believing that I'm keeping all protocol constant and try to make sure I score the points and leave timely. I consider this particular webinar extremely important, so I jumped out of a ministerial cabinet meeting to make sure I do this and run right back. First and foremost, tourism is life. Every single thing you do, snap your. So tourism is a defined order of demography and nature. In clear terms, we are all aware that there are three kinds of professions where a man would never go wrong. If you're a farmer, you never go wrong. If you own a transport business, you never go wrong. People must move. Most important of them all is self-education. These three businesses, you never go wrong. But why is tourism so important? A book called Geography, a study called Geography. From this singular study, every single profession is born. And because that is the case, the word started with tourism, and it definitely will address tourism. In the Garden of Eden was nature, and God placed man, as history will put it. Combined, it's become a universe of humans and nature still in self-participatory mode. Now, how does this click into governance and growth? There are three steps in tourism that works its way out, and it's three values that no government can run from. Tourism is naturally the enabler of growth. Enabler of growth. It is the natural, most important tool of any government as the M&E, monitoring and evaluation, to make sure that all agencies, government institutions are actually in line. It is the enforcer, because only when government in its fourth year is complying in detail from sales, from the subset to the total sale, then tourism becomes a unique force in that economy. We are all aware. Everyone who may have spoken on this webinar today, to these students, develop a passion, and that passion have allowed them not to just speak here, but they are entrepreneurs as well as business people in the field of tourism. Tourism is an employer at first, then it then allows you to be employed. Automatically, you get two jobs. Now, where the younger generation have missed it is where we hope that you don't miss it today. The most important tool for a young student in tourism to begin to make all the wealth and compact all knowledge and begin to invest is the mobile phone. The mobile phone is a blessing to the younger generation. Your mobile phone can allow you to do creatives, digital creatives, innovation. It can allow you to explore into huge platforms for talents. It can even allow you to become a studio owner to produce music videos, documentaries, thrillers. It can allow you to tell stories away from a single story, and all those, there are people waiting to buy them. I will give you the first proof as a young student is planning it, and E is executed. As a student who is passionate about nature and your environment, you are already a business person under tourism. Sometimes you drive in your car, and as you drive, you look and you see something, and a whole fresh idea comes into your head. But you make a mistake and say, "Well, I get home, I will write it." You never write it the same way. What's the most important tool to capture it fresh? Is your mobile phone. Just speak to it. Anyone who speaks to the mobile phone has already thought about an idea in its prime and original state. When you decide to translate it into words, it becomes the planning stage. There's somebody out there who has investment cash but doesn't have the brain to think what you just thought out. Then the golden share principle is applied. In every sector of the society, there is no sphere in government that tourism does not exist. That's why you have today medical tourism, you have road tourism. There are over 8 can support a country's total GDP. And the worst down the ladder, it's a full sector that is worth between $100 and $280 billion. Sex tourism, which people are scared to talk about. Now, imagine countries that choose to execute environmental or ecotourism. What you actually have is a collection of units into one. And environmental tourism is the largest bundle of tourism you can practice. So if you're a young kid in the classroom and doing the theory, just remember this. Convert your theory into passion and convert your passion into practicals. Then you begin to think vision. And if your vision doesn't scare you, your dream is not big enough. Example. Today, with between $7,000 to $11,000, a cooperative of a group of young men could set up a hair factory. And the product is so common in Africa because it is taken from plantain stems. The best ropes and hair is from plantain and banana stems, for Christ's sake. We always see ourselves as being disadvantaged. Every day I walk the streets of Monrovia and rural area, I'm able to name over 400 plants, and each of them is a tea, not just a tea, with chain of benefits that will keep us healthy in our life. There should be no poor African child, because every African child have a plant in his compound that is a tea or a herb that could save lives and change a lot of things. Maggot farming, you require nothing less than $150 to $200, and in 6 months could earn $4,000 to $6,000 every month from maggot farming. In the backroom and principle and the fulcrum of the energy that catalyzes anything else. Tourism is the reason why countries could get 3 times the population employed instead of 1/3, purely based on industrialization and infrastructure development. Tourism comes in 2 folds, domestic and global. But most time we look too far, thinking that the global will be our engine. If you are able to put 2-3 conscious actions, will spur and bring a lot of the diasporas to you. Think collective, because tourism is collective. Think beyond, because the reasoning and the capturing of wealth lies right in your face. The Nigerians say, we're waiting there for Shokoto. It actually is in your hands. I'm not saying it because I need to say it. I've chewed it and eaten it for 36 years. Most likely some days will choose to come to Liberia and see exactly what's happening. In the next 5 years, Liberia will be the choice destination in Africa, because already Liberia holds 48% of the hydrocarbon reserve of West Africa, has the longest waterways in West Africa. We used to be the hub of tourism before our war. In 1990, you can check your history. We fought for the independence of every country in Africa. We're the hub of every flight that came from Europe into Africa, where locals began to take their citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't want to say much, but as long as and the rest, there is no limit to what the youth can do in terms of wealth creation. I'm a perfect example of that. I wouldn't take your time, and I'll stop you at this point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. We truly appreciate the fact that you have taken the time of your busy schedule. Would you be so kind to stay a couple of more minutes to answer a few questions directly asked by the participating students? That's all right? Okay.